Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down a concept that is absolutely crucial for any business right now: AI governance. It's the stuff that decides whether your company's AI is going to be a game-changing asset or a massive liability. But honestly, it's something a lot of people just don't get. So let's dive in.
So let me just ask you this right off the bat. Who is making the calls at your company? Or maybe the better question is, what is making the calls? Is it a person, a whole committee? Or could it actually be an algorithm? The truth is, AI is already making huge decisions that impact your business, your employees, your customers, and a lot of the time, we don't even see it happening. And that kind of leads us right to the first big point we need to make. This isn't science fiction, you know? AI isn't some cool idea about the future. It's here, right now, and it's woven deep into how we work every single day.
Just think about your day so far. Seriously, how many times have you actually interacted with an artificial intelligence? I'm willing to bet it's way, way more than you think, and that's because most of it is designed to be completely invisible.
For instance, AI was probably working in the background to assess financial risks for a loan, or figuring out the best way to get that package delivered to your door. And it for sure curated that content feed you were scrolling through this morning. But it goes deeper. It's even screening job applications and helping doctors make critical medical decisions. It's kinda everywhere.
But okay, here's a really important distinction we have to make. Not everything that looks smart is actually AI. There's simple automation. Think of a calculator. You put in 2 plus 2, it gives you 4. Every single time. It just follows the rules. But true AI, well, it learns, it adapts based on new information. And because of that, its behavior isn't always 100% predictable. And that ability to learn on its own, that's what makes it so incredibly powerful and also pretty risky.
And this gets us right to the heart of the matter. Because AI really has two very different faces. And you absolutely have to understand the difference if you want to manage it properly. Yeah, let's be super clear about this. Not all AI is created equal. The term AI is this giant umbrella that covers all sorts of different technologies with wildly different capabilities and, more importantly, wildly different risks. So on one side, you've got what we can call classical AI. Think of it like a super-powered analyst. It is amazing at specific jobs like predicting which customers might leave or flagging weird transactions for fraud. Its behavior is pretty predictable. But then, you have generative AI, and this is a whole new ballgame. It doesn't just analyze data, it creates brand new, original stuff. Text, images, code, you name it. Its outputs aren't set in stone, and that, right there, introduces a massive amount of uncertainty. And with all that uncertainty comes a whole new set of risks. First up, disinformation. I mean, what happens when a machine can create totally convincing but completely fake information and do it at a massive scale? Then there's intellectual property. This is a huge one. Who owns the stuff an AI creates? What if it spits out something that's basically a copy of copyrighted material? We're talking about a massive legal and ethical minefield here. And finally, there's just plain old misuse. How do we make sure these incredibly powerful tools aren't used to manipulate people, or to create discriminatory systems, or to spread hate? The potential for real harm here is just enormous. Okay, so with all these risks staring us in the face, what's the plan? The answer isn't to just panic and stop using AI. The answer is to start governing the algorithm and governing it well. That's where AI governance comes in. But please, don't think of this as just another technical checklist for the IT department. It's so much bigger than that. It's a full-on business strategy, a framework of policies, people, and processes, all designed to make sure your AI is safe, it's ethical, it's legal, and it actually lines up with what your company stands for. And if we break that down a bit more, you see that real governance is a complete system. It's about having clear policies and knowing who's in charge of what. It's about having defined processes and controls and real accountability so you know who's responsible when things go wrong. And of course, making sure you're following all the rules and regulations. Now, I know what some of you are probably thinking. Ugh, all this governance stuff, isn't that just going to slow us down? Isn't it going to kill innovation? And that is probably the biggest misconception out there. The truth is, good governance actually enables innovation. It builds trust, it gives everyone clarity, and it creates a safe and solid foundation so you can build and scale your AI ideas responsibly. Which brings us to our next point. This isn't just a nice to have, this is a strategic necessity for any business that wants to succeed in the modern world. I mean, just look at how integrated AI already is. It's not some niche tool anymore. HR is using it to go through resumes. Finance is using it to spot fraud. Sales is using it to forecast demand. It's touching every single critical part of the business.
And here's the catch. The more we automate with these powerful systems, the more we open ourselves up to risk. We're talking about everything from simple technical glitches to serious algorithmic bias that leads to unfair outcomes. And then you have these black box situations where the AI makes a decision and you literally can't explain why. Without clear governance, accountability just vanishes.
So, where do you start? How do you actually build a system that works? Well, it all goes back to the very beginning. It's about designing with purpose from day one.
See, governance doesn't happen after the AI is built. It has to start with the initial idea. Before anyone even thinks about writing code, you have to be asking these questions. Why are we even doing this? Is AI really the best tool for this job, or are we just jumping on a bandwagon? What's the real impact this could have on people? And how are we going to make sure we can track what it does and audit it down the line?
In the end, it really all boils down to this one critical question. The AI in your organization, is it being designed with a clear, thought-out, responsible purpose? Or is it being designed, well, just because the technology is there? The answer to that question is going to determine everything. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.